Sonia here from Rainbow Balloons, and welcome to my video tutorial. This is for a girl inspired by an Arabian princess. I'm going to talk you through how to recreate this design here, and you can also go ahead to take certain elements from it and create other characters. You can go ahead and have a lot of fun experimenting with the different colours and styles that you might create, and at the end I'll also show you how to draw on the character's face. So I hope you enjoy, and let's get to it. Now I'm going to be inflating my balloons as I go with my handy Legenda pump behind me, starting with this 6-inch quicklink. So I've inflated it to approximately this hand comparison size, and I'm going to go ahead to tie it off. So the colour I'm using is mocha. Now I'm going to go ahead to inflate a 160, and this is also in the mocha. Now you can get a bit of an idea how much I inflated it, but we aren't going to use the whole balloon, so it does not matter if you do less. But we're going to go ahead to create the 2 arms and the neck from this balloon. Seeing the knot there, just pass that through the loop, secure that in place. We're going to follow that by a small bubble and a pinch twist. Next, my bubble I'm creating is approximately 3 to 4 fingers long, with another small bubble, pinch twist, and now I'm going to repeat those shapes there. So a bubble for the next arm, comparing sizes, that looks pretty good. Oh, and now that loop twist for both of them, approximately 2 to 3 fingers. Followed by one last bubble, which I'll pinch twist. Now you can go ahead to remove the remainder of that 160. You'll find that I always love to tie mine off, as I'm always worried about slow leaks. I've pulled that final knot through to help lock it in place. Now we're going to introduce it into the 160 cube. I'm going to go ahead to twist this balloon into 2. Now if you weren't able to access quick links for this part, you can also use a 5-inch round with the raisin balloon inside. If you're not familiar with that technique, I do have a free video on it via my YouTube channel, but if you Google balloon twist raisin, I'm sure you'll be able to find it too, or another one. So I've twisted this balloon in 2, and it's created the head and the torso. Now I'm going to incorporate it in the 160. Bringing that in and around and locking in place. Okay, so if you happen to be using the 5-inch with a raisin inside, make sure that raisin knot is in this half of the balloon, because that of course is where you want to attach the hair and not so much down here. Next we're going to go ahead to use a 6-inch heart for her pants. Now this is going to be twisted and then split in 2. It is a Metalitex brand, however Qualitex or your preferred heart should work, but I just love this colour and the shaping that comes from it. I've gone ahead to inflate my heart, just let a little bit of air out to soften it slightly, but see how my 2 lobes and the base there are similar shapes? That's good. So very soon I'm going to twist this in 2, but I want a little bit of playroom, so I'm not going to do the knot hard up against the balloon bubble there, but just slightly further down the nozzle. Oops. Like so. Now, here comes the fun part. We're going to twist this heart in 2. Yes, if you've never done it before, you heard me right. You can twist almost anything, right? I'm going to go ahead and give it a bit of a squish beforehand, but basically we want to be splitting it in two down this way. Not for the faint-hearted. It's okay, let me go again. That may happen to you, and it doesn't always happen to me, so just be assured it can be a consequence. It doesn't mean you're doing a thing wrong. All right, here we go. I softened it a bit further because I've made myself nervous. However, we are going to go ahead to twist this into, I'm going to pop it down. This time it worked very nicely, might I add. So those two little shapes remind me of kidney beans, but you do want to have them of the same size. So if it's not, let it untwist and try again. Of course, this is leg 1 and 2, those beautiful long pants. So I've just taken the knot from the mocha quicklink, and I've not tied it in but just twisted it in with the join below here. So we've got our head, arms, neck, torso and trousers. Let's get to the next part. Taking my next 160, and this is in the lilac shade from Qualitex. I've gone ahead to inflate it with about 3 fingers uninflated, tying it off, and I'm going to incorporate it into the design so far in this twisted area. So just taking the nozzle, putting that in there, and wrap that is the nozzle a few times to help secure that in place. Now we're going to do the detailing on the top of the pants. So I'm going to fold the 160 around and see where it meets approximately to the middle of her back. I'm going to pinch that in, twist, followed by one small bubble to pinch twist. I'm going to take it again around her waist and bring the remainder of the balloon back into that central point where we first started. Let's do this. Now I'm going to see approximately how much I need by where these two balloons are overlapping. Now with that join now twisted, I'm going to incorporate it into this area. In and around. Now I should ideally have some kind of overlap from the first part of the balloon. Coming around to look at the other side, we're going to, with this bubble, or the remainder balloon we've got, twist off a small join, which we're going to bring into the pinch twist. And join it in like so. Now we've created the trousers, we're going to go ahead to create the top. See what we're working with at the back here. Small bubble. This is perhaps even half the size of the small bubbles we've been doing, but followed by another slightly bigger one. This is going to go ahead and pinch this. Taking this part of the balloon. Now, I've gone ahead to switch the neck around, but that's okay. Taking note of where the back is, And so in comparison with the front end, twist it off, create a small bubble to be pinched with. Then taking this balloon, wrapping it around the torso, and twisting it, and then at the same time incorporating it into that pink twist. Okay. Now, for the last bit, we're going to go ahead to give her some straps for the dress. Starting the top. So I'm going to bring it over her shoulder or over her arm, adjusting as necessary. See how nice and close to the arm that is. Wrap it around that pinch twist. Up and over. Coming back to that pinch twist at the back. Twist your balloon so you've got a balloon that you can introduce into there. Now you can go ahead to remove that excess. I'm tying it off and just letting it dissolve into the back there. So this is where we're at so far, and what we need to do next is her hair. To do the hair, we're going to use two 260 black and one 160. The first one I'm going to inflate with approximately 5 centimeters uninflated. Now when you're using a handy inflation device such as the Legenda, I like to determine my 5 centimeters or 2 inches that I wish to have uninflated, pinch it there, and so that as the air goes in it won't exceed past my fingers. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead to tie that straight onto the quick link. Now if you were using a raisin inside a mocha round, then you would need to maybe create 2 pinch twists first before joining the hair in. But when you can tie it straight on, do it. Great. I'm going to start off with a pinch twist, and the bubble is approximately this wide. Bringing the hair down the back of the balloon, approximately 2/3, twisting off that bubble, followed by another bubble about 1 inch in length, 2.5 centimeters. Oh! I was a bit nervous that might happen. Like I said, happens to the best of us, and the worst too, right? Let's do that again. Our 1 inch pinch twisted bubble. Finding the point approximately 2/3 down the head, twisting off a bubble, following it with a 1 inch pinch. Making another small bubble, just a little bit longer in length, but that's going to go into, than the previous one, but that's now going to go into the neck area at the back. I'm going to go ahead to do 1 bubble up on this side, and then 1 bubble down from that side. Squeezing and making lots of noise, squeezing and twisting as I go. through that pinch twist, and we're going to go down again on the opposite side. We are getting a little bit busy in this area. You might like to assist yourself by twisting, determining the length you need, twisting it off, and then incorporating it into the joint. Okay, now if you are wanting to maybe change up the design a little bit and not have to go ahead to use another 260 for the hair, you might like to use the remainder length to make into her ponytail, and that's fine if you do. You might choose to do another option, which I'll go further into in a moment. Here, bringing the remainder of the balloon into the pinch twist. Actually, it just disappeared. They're coming. I'm going to do a new one. Because we do need this pinch twist at the back for the rest of her hairstyle. It's rather important. So the fact we've lost it, we can do a new one. But you could use this length to wrap around for the next bit of hair. But I'm going to use a 160Q for that instead to give it a bit more detailing. What that means is I get rid of this, tying off, and this is what we're looking at so far. Let's go ahead to finish that hair. Taking my 160Q, I'm going to inflate it. It was a little bit uninflated at the end, but I'm going to let a bit of air out. Softens it a bit, but gives me a bit of playroom on both the nozzle and the opposite end. I'm not going to tie the nozzle hard up against the bubble there. And then, finding the midpoint of this balloon, give you a simple twist, and we're going to incorporate it now into the pinch twist at the back. Sitting in there. Now I'm going to wrap the two 160s around each other, not too tightly. I'm going to go for 4 times. Bring it around to the front. Twisting them where they appear to pinch twist at the top. We're bringing them around. And through to the opposite side. Now for the next part, we want to pay attention to the way or direction this is twisting in, and then we're going to mirror it on the other side so it looks nice and elegant and symmetrical. So it might take yourself a moment or two, but determine which of these bubbles needs to go over or under. For instance, if I went to twist that now, does it look quite symmetrical? No, it doesn't. So I would reassess and be like, okay, it's this bubble for me that needs to go over the top. Quick sample for myself, and yes, that's looking far more symmetrical. So I'm going to wrap it a few more times. I'm sweeping it under this bubble here and bringing it to that pinch twist at the back. I'm twisting those two together independently and then into the pinch twist. And I'm going to go ahead to remove the excess. Now, sometimes when I'm doing this, I find I get to that pinch twist at the back and I can tie those two together with no further air that's inside. So if you do get that, well, that's very nice. Saves you having to do so many knots. Now, You can tidy it up a bit. I've got the previous bit of milk just sticking around there a bit, but adjust it till you're happy. And then we're going to do her hair piece, which is going to cover over that pinch twisted area. So we can disguise that anyway if you're not too satisfied with its appearance. She's coming along great though, isn't she? Oh, and before we do that hair piece, I need to go ahead to do her braid. Well, braid, lots of hair, whatever it is, we're getting into it. I've been playing this balloon till about 2 or 3 fingers of uninflated tail. I'm just going to let it soften a bit and tie it off. That too is going to go into the pinch twist at the back, so you can see how important it is that we have this one and of course this one. Okay, so that's in there. And we're going to twist off the first part of the hair. And that's approximately 4 fingers long. Pop in there another pinch twist. For this next bit, I'm twisting off a length which is approximately 20 centimeters or 8 inches. And I'm going to do an identical one back into that pinch twist. Taking the remainder, bring it up over the split. Now I like to create a split here so that this second bubble, third in this case, going over the top is a lot more likely to stay in position and not move around, so if it's nestled a bit in that groove. I'm going to give it a bit of a squish though where it meets to remove the air from being so firm in that area. Then bring it up and into the pinch twist. With the remainder bubble, I'm going to go ahead to replicate this bubble several more times. Because it's getting a bit tight in there as well, I'm going to twist it off first. Bring it into the pinch twist. Determine that this is what I need to finish it off. Because I'm going to want to knot off this end, I'm just twisting off a small little safety bubble, which I'm going to pop. Allow that to soften slightly so it's not too firm when I tie it off again. And I'm going to bring that back into the pinch twist in the middle of that big band. So now onto that hair piece. Corner head to inflate it with a small bit uninflated at the end, so just about 2 fingers. I'm going to tie that off and introduce it to the creation at the pinch twist at the back. Which unfortunately did just come out. Wow, what is up with that pinch twist today? Let's save it a bit by creating a pinch twist first in this bubble. I'm going to bring this area all in together with this handy new pinch twist, and it's going to repair everything. Refixing the braided bit. Not even braided, is it? It's wrapped. all of that needs to come back into that new pinch. She's recovered. Alright, so going back to the beautiful spring lilac, coming from our pinch twist in the behind, going to bring that nestled in between the 260 and the 160 at the front, over the front of that pinch twist, and in between the 260 and the 160, and it's going to come into that back pinch. Go ahead to adjust further just to help secure it in there. And to do this, we're basically going to get it into a bit of space between the 160 and the 260 of the hair. Now, to do the remainder of her hair, I'm going to wrap the 160 around created is the wrap at the top of the braid. Taking the 160, passing it in between the 260 to the back. We're going to squish the air as we channel up to the spin point and wrap the 160 around. I'm going to create a small space between the hair and then a small bubble to pinch with. And finally I'm going to wrap this balloon around to be the second ponytail holder. And peeling away that pinch back in the middle. Okay, so now you can take the remainder and remove. So I've just tied it off and put the remainder nozzle into the balloon. You can give it a pinch and let go to help that not disappear back into those crevices. And this is what we're looking at so far. Now, you can play around with positioning the hair. I like to try and stick it a bit out to the side. It doesn't always cooperate in that aspect, but you can certainly have fun experimenting with any different looks. Now, we're going to go ahead to do the earrings. Now, here's a couple of earrings that I prepared earlier, and I'm going to make a third one just in a moment to show you, which is going to be the sort of the crowning jewel of this tiara in the middle. Now, with these two bubbles that I've created, they've been made from the stunning new Quicklink 7-inch rounds. Now, it's a good balloon for the job, but it's another great way to actually use up the ends of 260 golds that you might have. I don't happen to have any on hand, so these 7-inch rounds will do the trick. What I'm going to do is put these earrings onto our girl, basically positioning them at the front where I'm going to want them to be, and passing the nozzle end through to the pinch twist at the back. popping it in place. Pardon the pun. Passing it under the 260 air bubbles and bringing it into the pinch twist at the back. And coming back around to the front again and positioning them in place. So going to go ahead to create the jeweled part in the middle. So with my 7-inch round, what I'm going to do is inflate some air into it. Not too much, I've got my bubble there. And I'm going to start slowly letting the air out, holding firmly the nozzle end with the opposite hand while trying to control somewhat the air as it's leaving. I'm going to twist this bubble and then let go. Twisting it smaller and smaller there, allowing air to escape up until now where I've twisted it so many times where hopefully it shall not. Just firmly running my fingers down to remove any excess air that might still be trapped just in between. You'll notice if there is, it'll start bubbling out in that twisted area. But now I've created the loop for the knot, I'm going to pull it tight. Try to reduce the slack as much as possible so that beautiful chrome shine comes through. It might appear more matte in colour as opposed to shiny if it's not quite firm in there. You could go ahead to try again as well. If you wanted to try and increase the level of firmness in that area. Don't go too crazy though, it's cool. Chrome's amazing, isn't it? I'm going to take that and put it in between the 160 here. Bring it and wrapping it into the pinch twist. Now you can go ahead and play around in this area further if you want to. If you don't like tempting fate, it does look pretty good like that. But you can attempt to get a bit of shaping in this area. If you wanted to go for a more interesting look there as well. Just readjusting head piece. Trying to ensure it's nice and firm in there. And there we have it. Princess Jasmine. Now, unfortunately, because we did lose a bit of shaping with the pinch twist at the back, that's bulbed out a bit, but I swear your customer wouldn't notice. And let me show you on the other one just what it is looking like in that area. Now that has one extra bubble which you don't need to be too concerned with. I actually did something slightly different there, but you'll still get the same effect with the singular pinch twist. If you want to help to, I guess, keep fade at bay, you could maybe even do 2 pinch twists in that area, so you'll be able to manage having to as opposed to having none. But there's our doll. Let's go ahead to do her artwork. With my markers, I've got a dark pink Sharpie, a white Posca paint marker, and finally a black Pentel Maxi Flow marker for the black detailing. I'm going to start off by doing the cheeks. Now when you do these, we might like to do them nice and close to the earring area. That's a nice sort of guide for where the ears are, aren't they, and where the cheeks and things might sit. I'm going to go ahead to create my cheeks there and replicating it on the other side. I like to have it upside down, as when you look at it, you can be a bit more objective as to whether things are even or not. and you do have a bit more room for your hand. And I'm going to go ahead to even up this side. Twist and turn as you need. Then we've got the cheek. Next is the white, and I'm going to use it to create the smile. So the positioning there is in the middle between the cheeks and in about, I suppose it's on the bottom third of the face, isn't it? Then we've got the black marker. We're going to use it for, of course, the belly button down below here. I like to do a little squiggle that people sometimes say looks like a 6. I say squiggle, they say 6. They see what they want to see. But I'm going to go ahead to do the eyes and the eyelashes now. It's got a bit of a teardrop shape to it, doesn't it? Fill that in and replicating it in again on the opposite side. Get a little nose, and we're going to go ahead to do some eyelashes. And finally, some eyebrows. That's it for the black marker, and now the white. So we give the black a bit of an opportunity to dry, so you might even do this white bit mouth on first before doing the cheeks, just to give yourself even longer time for this white to dry through if you want. But it's important that we have the black nice and dry, so you're not muddying up your white paint marker, and you don't want to draw the cheeks over the eyes. That could look a bit well, a bit different to what we're expecting. I'm going to do one little sphere and repeat a smaller one just off to the side of it. I'm going to add a little shine. Now you want to replicate it for the second eye. Remember, it's not a mirror image, but the light source is from the same direction, so we're positioning that in the exact same way on the second eye. And there she is. Now, I hope you've enjoyed creating your Arabian-inspired princess with me, and I look forward to seeing your own creations that you might make. Thank you so much, and until next time, have a great day. Bye.